Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada, province of British Columbia. Victoria is the capital city here in the far, far west, just north of Los Angeles and Seattle. Welcome Nipa, Hi Fuang, Domenico Angel, nice to see a lot of our members. Elizabeth, good to see you. Anna, nice to see many students in the class. We're looking at speaking part 1 for the IELTS exam, both for the general and the academic. The speaking is the same for both versions of the International English Language Testing System. And the specific topic for today, for part 1, will be about moving homes. So going to a new home. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live lessons, meaning they contain all of our materials. So our academic IELTS website looks like this. It has all of our practice exams that we use in these live classes, as well as the audio and features like the chat interface that we will use today to talk to students to practice the IELTS speaking. You can click this big red button that's just above my head there to join the premium version of the course. It's worth it. It doesn't cost a lot. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime access. Our goal is to help as many students as we can. Welcome Abdiraham M. Ahad, Emanuela, Irene, so many beautiful names out there. Students, we are an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. I hold a degree in psychology from the University of Victoria. So we do our best to help you learn quickly and efficiently through these websites. The general IELTS website looks like this at gieltshelp.com. Again, click that big red button that's just above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. Everybody can see Carolina in the chat. She is in blue, her name. She is a chat moderator and she knows a lot about the IELTS and a lot about us. So ask her questions freely and I'm sure she will help you out and point you in the right direction. Students, on the websites, you can use this code BLAZER9. That's from our most recent video release over the weekend. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help from your app stores. Instagram is IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. All this social media, right? If you have questions for me outside of the class, then just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. We have a full schedule for you this week right now with speaking part 1 starting. And then we will have task 1 writing for members tomorrow. That will be the academic, so graphs and charts. Then we'll have some reading for subscribers. Definitely subscribe to the channel. It's free and it's a really good idea. You get notifications of the live classes and all of the other releases in our posts. And then we have speaking part 2 and speaking part 3 on Saturday. So tons and tons of IELTS and English coming at you all week. And definitely participate as much as possible. Cliche as it sounds, practice makes perfect, right? Okay, students, here is that new video release that I was talking about that we released on the weekend. It's for speaking practice. It's really good. These videos are fairly successful on our YouTube channel, and we really wish they were even more successful because they're extremely useful for practicing certain topics. It's like a karaoke style video with a lesson where you can use subtitles to repeat and copy, and it's just super effective. There it is in the chat. All right, everybody, let's get into IELTS speaking part 1. So the IELTS speaking It's a part of the test that's done different from, or separate, I should say, from the listening, reading, writing. So listening, reading, writing, it's done together at one time, takes about 3 hours, and then speaking is done separately. Sometimes on the same day, before or after the other three, sometimes on a different day. Don't stress about it. If possible, when you're registering for your exam, leave time between your reading, listening, writing, and your speaking, okay? If you can do it on a different day, I recommend that. So I think it's good to have a night's rest between your sitting part of the exam and your speaking part of the exam. So this is just a quick tip. I don't often mention this one, but it is a good tip. So whenever possible, it's not always possible, and I know that, but whenever possible, leave time between your speaking exam, or speaking, let's call it speaking part of the test, and the other 3 sections. Okay. Speaking tends to make people quite nervous, and you want to give yourself a bit of time to really just focus, calm down, concentrate on that part of the test. So if possible, do that, okay? All right. Okay, students, so another big tip, of course, and you hear me say this one all the time, is go to your exam early, okay? 1 hour before. Get comfortable. Review your notes. And very importantly, practice speaking with other candidates. I've said this so many times, and thankfully we have so many viewers, that I think a lot of candidates who go to your exam center have seen these videos, so they're also looking for a speaking partner. So there's a good chance that, you know, there'll be a couple people walking around going, who can I speak to? Who can I speak to, right? So find that person, find that candidate, and say, hey, let's get into some questions. Let's talk about, you know, I'll ask you some questions about your hobbies, about some sports you like. And then you can do the same. We can even practice a part 2. So you can even practice some part 2 questions, okay? All right. Don't overdo it. Don't kill your brain, but, you know, get into it, right? Get that fluency going. It's way better than walking into the test cold, where you're like, good morning. Was that the first English you said today? So yeah, no, you definitely want to be in the zone, okay? You want to be in the zone. Means like the English zone. When you walk into your test, okay? So you want to be in the zone, all right? Okay, and then 20 minutes before you meet with your examiner, you will register. They'll take your picture. They'll ask you to leave all of your personal belongings like phone, wallet, I believe even, watch if you have it. So they'll ask you to leave every personal item in a bag. They will let you take your passport, your pen, your pencil, eraser, bottle of water. It's a very good idea. Water helps us to calm down, okay? Take water with you. Helps you to keep calm and manage cotton mouth, okay? So bottle of water, very good idea, okay? And it can even be used to kind of buy a little bit of time to think. So it's one little trick to buy you a few moments of time to think. Okay. All right. So then you will go into your exam, And the examiner will meet and greet you. The first question that the examiner asks you is, may I see your identification? Okay. They have to ask you this. You have to show them the ID. They will look at the ID. They will match it. So when you register, they look at your registration number and they look at your profile, and then they will look at your passport or your ID, and they'll look at you. They'll kind of stare at you, stare at your passport, and they'll check off that, yes, it's the right person. It's not a doppelganger. Okay. So Angel is asking a good question. Angel says, what time is best to take the speaking test? The best time, if you want to know the best time according to psychology, to take any exam, not just a speaking exam, it's 3 hours after you wake up. Okay, so if you wake up at 8 a.m., that's a good question, Angel. And as you notice, everybody, I am looking at the chat. And as I told you before, I hold a degree in psychology. So you can ask me questions like this. Angel was asking, what's the best time to take the test? For example, if you wake up at 8 a.m., then 11 a.m. is the best time. Why is that? Well, because science has proven that our brain works at its highest capacity roughly 3 hours after we wake. So good question, Angel. Yeah. So 3 to 6 hours. So between that 11 to 2 p.m., that's your max performance. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we go. Pulomi, I do notice your texts, and I did see that one where you're asking about, can a person reach level C2, I believe, with these tips, just watching these. So Pulomi, I do notice them. I just can't comment on every single text because then we don't have flow in the class. But I do look at a lot of those inquiries and messages. I've got pretty good peripheral reading. You develop that when you do what I do for a while. Okay, so good question. Let's jump back into it. So you're in the exam room. You see the examiner. Look at the examiner and remember that they're just another human. You're a human. You're there to do a job. Don't stress. Don't worry. You're there to do a job. They're there to do a job. Focus on yourself. You're there to get a high band score. Okay? May I see your identification? Domenico, one of our longtime members who's very studious, says, certainly, here is my passport, which I used to register for the exam a few weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials on it. Students, in English, we don't over detail the end of sentences, so take out the on it, okay? Domenico, that sounds awkward, all right? So just please take a look at my credentials. That's it, okay? Remember, everyone, that the English grammar structure for the most basic sentence is subject, verb, object. So my credentials, that's the object of the sentence. And in English, we generally don't overcomplicate that. It's just, this is the object, done, right? So please take a look at my credentials, okay? That's it. Domenico, good. All right. That is good. Okay. All right, everyone. Anna. I can't really read Cyrillic except for a couple of simple bits that I can recognize. Anna says, yes, for sure. There is my passport. It's not there would be like if you're throwing it at the examiner. Here, okay, don't throw your passport at the examiner. There, like a frisbee, right? There, like a ninja star. There's my passport. Here's my passport. These days, since COVID, they actually don't want to touch it either. They just ask you to hold it. They'll often say like, can you hold up your passport, please, and just show it to me. So here is my passport, which I've used for my registration recently. Please have a look at my credentials. Good. Okay. All right. Nice. Now, as soon as you do that, the next question that they will ask you is, what is your full name? Standard. Okay. So, what is your full name? And then again, a nice full sentence answer. So students, your goal is to show your best English, fluency, professional English, formal, informal English. The more range, the more natural, the higher your band score. Okay. So Nipa says, by the way, these are all great answers, so I'm fixing them, and these are so far so good. So these answers will get you a nice high band score as long as you're fluent, everybody. Okay. This is speaking, right? So make sure that in this class, be sure to speak and repeat. So copy what I say, copy how I say it. Okay, super important. All right, it's not just a listening exercise, it's a speaking class, speaking exercise. Copy me. If you feel that I'm going too fast, if you feel it's too challenging, let me know. Put it into the chat. Say, hey, Adrian, there's just no way I can copy you. You're way too quick. You need to give me more time. Okay, or if I'm too slow, you can say, Adrian, you're very sluggish. Can you speed up, please? I speak English 5 times faster than you. And then I'll be like, all right, no, I won't do that. There's a range of natural speed, and you don't have to speak very quickly to be fluent. To be fluent means that you can continuously speak without awkward pauses. Okay. All right, what is your full name? Nipa says, my given name is Nipa and my surname is Bagum. Please call me Nipa. You know, Nipa, it's good, solid. It's full sentence, simple, but to the point, clear, solid introduction. Okay. Srinivas says, hi, Adrian, what happens to candidates who have a lisp in their speech? Okay, so students, if you have any kind of speech impediment, okay, it's called a speech impediment, like a lisp, stutter, stammer. You need to indicate this during your registration with a note from a professional like a doctor. Okay, what that means is they will consider that, they will give you extra time. This means the examiner will consider this and give you extra time and mark slightly differently. Like for example, if you have a lisp, they will consider that for your pronunciation mark. Okay, a lisp is when you have an interesting way to pronounce the S sounds, like someone's taken my sippy cup from me this morning. It's a lisp. Okay, it's like it's a lisp. A lisp. Okay. All right. Good. What is your full name? Now, after this, what is your full name? They usually ask you 1 or 2 questions that are just very common questions to get you kind of comfortable. Okay. So they'll ask, for example, do you work or study? I'll go, hi, Nipa. Do you work or study? Okay. And then you need to give a nice full sentence answer. Karn is asking, how can I score 6.5 in speaking? Karn, a 6.5 is between fluent and good. So to get a 6.5, it means you have to be able to speak fluently and your answers have to answer the questions. Okay? That will get you a score between fluent and good. If you're just fluent, but you're talking off topic and you don't make a lot of sense, it does not get a 6.5. In fact, sometimes it won't even get a 6. So to get a 6.5, you have to be fluent. You can make some mistakes, but you have to answer the questions. That's the key. Okay. So do you work or study? Okay. Let's see. Anonymous has this answer. Anonymous says, actually, I do both. I have enrolled myself in a course for international management. And I also run a shop which contains pet accessories. Okay. Anonymous, does it contain pets as well? Like, can you buy goldfish or hamsters? I mean, you know, maybe not bigger pets like dogs or cats, but if I can buy, you know, like some kind of pets, then it's just simply a pet shop. Okay. Usually it's called a pet shop. Even if you can't buy pets, it's still generally considered a pet shop. Okay. Like that. Okay. So actually I do both. I have enrolled myself in a course for international management and I also run a pet shop. Okay, now this is an okay answer, Anonymous. Right at the beginning, you should always remember to explain. A very important tip. Okay, so you know, we have some good grammar here. Anonymous is saying, I have enrolled myself in. Have enrolled is present perfect, right? Okay, so it's some nice grammar. Actually, I do both. It's a nice way to start. It's natural. If you're the examiner, and this is a good way to practice, okay? This is another good tip for you here, okay? If you were the examiner, think about what information is A, missing, and B, not needed, okay? That's a good way to kind of reflect on your own communication. Okay, on the content of your answers. Hi, Alexi. Good to see you in the class. We have got another moderator in here now for everybody to give you a hand. So in this response by Anonymous, okay, do you work or study? Where Anonymous says, actually, I do both. I have enrolled myself in a course for international management. What is the question or what is the information that's missing? So if you're the examiner, what would be in your head like, I really wish you kind of mentioned that, but you didn't. What do you think? So when you look at this answer, okay, and this definitely affects your fluency, grammatical range accuracy, vocabulary, coherence, right? So Carolina says where? Fair, sure, okay. Like, where did you enroll yourself in the course, or where do you have your pet shop? That's not really like, you know, we're international here and it's hard to figure out where everybody is. That's not the question that comes to my mind. But, you know, fair enough. Anonymous says the goal, like, yes. Exactly, Anonymous. See? As soon as you made yourself into the examiner, you figured that out. right? Like, why are you in an international management course? Okay. Running the pet shop, it's kind of intuitive. I can kind of figure that out. You like pets, maybe. It's perhaps a family business, so it's kind of intuitive. But when you combine that with international management course, I'm kind of like, are you planning to open up pet shops in other countries, right? So that's the missing information. So here, I would maybe say, for example, because I plan to franchise and open up businesses in other countries. Okay. So, and also locally, I run a very successful pet shop. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So actually I do both. I have enrolled myself in a course for international management because I plan to franchise and open up businesses in other countries. Currently, I am running a very successful pet shop. Pet shop in Dubai. Okay, I don't know. Maybe something like that, all right? So much better, right? So that would be like, oh, okay, I got you. I actually get a really clear picture of who you are, what you do, right? So that's what you want, all right? Okay, and then the examiner will get into these part 1 questions. Now, we usually start these part 1 questions with some fairly simple questions like, how often do you, for example, but there's no guarantee for that, students. So they usually do start with simpler ideas, but there is no rule or law that they have to ask you a super simple question, okay? So, and depending on your level, so if the examiner feels that you have some fairly good English, then they might not, ask you like, what is your hobby? So don't expect that question, all right? If you're speaking English well, band 6 or higher, they might just get right into some more kind of in-depth questions. So they'll say, okay, let's talk on a general topic. Let's talk about moving, okay? And then right away, let's get into it. First question, have you ever had to move to a different home? Okay. So, have you ever had to move to a different home? Constellation, if you've never moved to a new house, they might change the topic, they might change the questions, they might not. Okay, so they might not. Okay. All right, Alexander, it's a good start. We need more information. So Alexander says, I have had to move many times. Why? So let's get into some explanations here. So it's a good start. All right, here is Pratik. Okay, so this will kind of answer that previous question as well of what if I have never moved. Okay, Pratik Giri says, no, my current home is pretty good. All right. The grammar of this question, have you ever had to move? What's the grammar of that question? Is it conditional? Is it progressive? Is it simple past? Is it future participle will? Is it active, passive? Harjot says it's present perfect. Carolina agrees. Yeah, it is present perfect, right? So Pratik says, no, my home is pretty good. That's just very simple, okay? So this is too simple. Now, I'm not telling you to overcomplicate your answers unnecessarily, right? But you have to reflect the grammar. So it has to be like this. I have never moved homes. I have lived my whole life here in Victoria in my family's 3-bedroom house. It is comfortable and conveniently located. Okay? So, pratik, that's the level of answer you want to produce. Even if you have a negative answer, everybody, your negative answer still has to be a good answer. That's why sometimes it's better to give a positive answer, even if you're making it up. But if you give a negative answer, make sure it's a good negative answer. Don't just say no. Nope. The examiner will be like, okay, knows the word nope, knows the word no. Bantu. All right. You might be correct, and hey, maybe deep down inside you have some great English, but the examiner doesn't know that. And they're not there for you to tell them no. I mean, you can. They're just there to do a job. They'll just mark you a 2. You showed up and used the word nope. So don't do that, okay? They don't care. You have to be accurate, okay? So give a full sentence answer, all right? And then some examiners, especially examiners who are maybe new and they don't really feel like switching the topic, or they don't know that they can, they might ask you the question like, can you describe the house or apartment that you moved to? Now, if I'm pratik, I would say, well, since I have never actually moved, I will briefly describe my family home. It has 3 big bedrooms, as I just mentioned, 2 bathrooms, a large living room with a skylight, and a huge backyard where we often enjoy playing games and barbecue. Okay? So it doesn't mean, if they say, can you describe the house or apartment you moved to? I just told you no. Nope. Nope. So just go with it, right? Just go with it. Okay? All right, everybody. So detailed answers, and you want to give details. Okay, give details. Have structure. So when it says, can you describe the house or apartment you moved to? Talk about what it looks like from the outside. Talk about what it looks like from the inside. Okay? All right? Sunflower says, nope, nope, nope. Nope on a rope. Okay. All right. Adele says, yes, I have had to. Just last year, I got a new job. So I had to move to a new apartment, which is closer to my office. Okay, Adele. Yeah, that's good. Adele, let me give you a quick fix here for natural English. So this is for everybody. It's a common mistake. So Adele says, yes, I have had. Here we include the participle, the to, okay? I should say preposition, to, okay? Yes, I have had to move. You can omit the move, okay? But if you're not sure, you can add that in. So yes, I have had to. Just last year, I got a new job. Okay, so Adele, watch the correct verb use. All right, good. Okay, everybody. So let's start this week strong with some volunteering, and this is what makes our website and our channel so kind of special or unique, is that you get to speak. You actually get to speak, and this is how you can volunteer for speaking in this live session. So the goal here is for everybody to practice, learn from each other, understand your band score, and know what you need to do to get a higher band score on your next test, okay? So I'm sure Carolina or Alexi will help us out here and put the instructions into the chat for you. I'll give you the first step here. Go to the website aehelp.com. So again, this is the website. As I mentioned at the start, we use this website for these live classes. So to join the premium version, just click that big red button on the general. If you're doing general IELTS, then it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background, and then you can click that big red button. And both Chen is in here too. Awesome. We've got Chen, Alexi, and Carolina. Hi, Chen. Just go to the one that you need. The chat is interfaced in both. So yeah, join now, and then log in. You'll see the My Student account at the top, and should log you in when you register. And Chen says, boom. Hi, everyone. All right, and then in your My Student account, you have computer-based practice exams. By the way, you can use the websites on your phone as well. They're responsive. You've got your full course, your exam books that you can download, your lesson videos, your audio CDs. And off to the right here, you've got your student partner speaking right there. Okay, click on the student partner speaking. And make sure to accept the terms. It means that you are responsible for your communication, okay? And then you're going to see a lot of beautiful people in here. We've got Dewey, one of our premium students, who we haven't talked to in a while, already volunteering. Hang in there, Dewey, I see you. You will see me in here as well, everybody. You're going to see me in here as master, okay? So send me a message by clicking on the blue envelope that's beside my handle, beside master, and then say, I want to volunteer, or just write, pick me, or just give me a sign. Once you do that, I'll see this little orange notification pop up, and then I can check if you're there, check that you have a good connection. Dewey, long time no see indeed. Are you ready? Let's visit with Dewey. Dewey.
Hello, Adrian. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you, Dewey?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, thank you. I'm feeling good, feeling strong, healthy, happy. So all is well. Absolutely. Dewey, has summer come to visit in France yet, or close to?
Actually, it's kind of special today because guess what? I'm calling you from Vietnam.
Ah, look at that. You're in Vietnam. Are you back home for a visit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been home for the last 10 days or so, and I'm going back to France in 2 days. Yeah.
In 2 days. So basically a 2-week vacation. That's good. Yeah. So you're doing well. Yeah. Good for you. How long has it been since your previous visit?
It has been a year or so that I went home last summer in 2022, and
wow.
Yeah, so quite long.
Yeah, and I mean it's a trip. Like France and Vietnam, there's a little bit of distance there, right? For sure.
Yeah, and it's kind of a surprise this time because one day I just surfing on the web, and I saw this flight ticket just about $400. So wow. I just book it right away, and the next time I on the plane and go to Vietnam.
So it was a bit spontaneous, right?
Exactly.
Can you repeat after me? It was a bit of a spontaneous trip.
It was a bit of a spontaneous trip.
Yeah. So everybody, when you hear new vocabulary, make sure to write it down here. It was a bit of a spontaneous trip. Spontaneous means, and I have a feeling you know this word, Dewey. So spontaneous, can you tell everybody what it means?
Like it happened kind of surprise and without planning.
Exactly. Yeah. Spontaneous means without plan. Yeah. So spontaneous. Yeah, it's good to know these kinds of words. They definitely help your vocab score on the IELTS. Spontaneous, without planning. Yes. So it's much later for you then in the day, right? Than when you're in France. Yeah. I think how many hours? How many hours between France and Vietnam?
It's 5 hours.
5 hours.
In the summers, but it's 6 hours in the winter.
Wow,
but
yeah, because of daylight savings.
It's 5 hours.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into a couple of questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. First, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and then I'll ask you some questions on a general topic. May I see your identification?
Yeah, sure. Here's my passport that I have used to register 2 weeks ago. Please have a look.
What is your full name?
Well, my first name is Duy Phương and my last name is Truan. Please call me Phương for short.
Okay, From. For part one, I will ask you some questions on a general topic. Let's talk about moving. Have you ever had to move to a different home?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have. Not only that, I have had to move to a different home, but I also moved to a different country altogether in 2016 when I went to France to pursue my higher study. It was a bit of a challenging experience for me at the time because it was my very first time to do so.
Can you describe the house or apartment you moved to?
Yeah, sure. I still remember vividly the apartment that I moved to in 2016. It was a 9-meter square flat in my uni's residence with a single bed, a desk for studying, a cupboard, and a wardrobe. The room didn't have any fancy furniture, but at the time I was very happy to reside in this apartment because it was just 5 minutes walk from my classrooms.
All right, dude, I'm going to stop there. You're just knocking it out of the park. All right. Have you been using a bit of English during your travels?
No, actually, I kind of deviated from the right track for the last 2 months, to be honest. As you can guess, because I haven't joined any of your class in the last 2 months. But I still try to read a couple of articles every day when I have time, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, you could always just, travel around Vietnam and pretend like you're not Vietnamese, like you're from some other country and talk English to people, see what happens. Right? All right. Just because I look Vietnamese doesn't mean,
Yeah, I can try that.
See what the tourist experience is, right? All right. Those are great answers, by the way. I'm sure everybody can hear that those were some really fantastic answers. Dewey, definitely between a band 8 and a band 9. So depending on how strict the examiner is on pronunciation, I would call that a band 9. If you get an examiner that's a bit more strict and they want a little bit of a clearer pronunciation just for absolute clarity, they might mark it like a band 8.5. But regardless, that's very good English because it's it's clear, it's accurate, it's detailed. I really enjoyed your level of control as well. So when I asked you, have you ever had to move to a different home? You said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have. That's a very natural expression. Everybody can try that, use it, learn it. It's very natural English. As a matter of fact, I have. It's kind of informal, but it's still considered very good English. So it sounds great on your IELTS, okay? And then you said not only that I have had to move to a different home, but I have actually moved to a different country altogether. Really nice complex sentence using complex grammar in the present perfect. And then you finished with it was the first time I've had to do so. You said you were quite nervous about it. Yeah. And what you did really well here, Dewey, and this is a very important tip for everybody, is don't keep talking. So don't just talk. I'm sure that Dewey could just really talk a lot about his experience moving from Vietnam to France. But that's not the goal here. The goal here is to have good communication. So you have to be able to stop yourself. And I felt that you had that kind of register in your thinking where you're like, it's enough, I'll stop. And it was a really great way to stop. I have had to do so. So it was the first time I've had to do so. Really nice kind of finish there. So that's a very good strategy to learn from this interaction. And then, of course, in the next question, you said, I still vividly remember. Vividly means to very clearly remember. It means like to actually see it as if it just happened. Really nice use of the adverb here, vividly remembering. The room I moved to, and then you use numbers. It was 9 square meters. That was really good. So Dewey, fantastic. That's exactly what you want to do. Work on pronunciation. You can always smooth out your English a bit. Focus on articulation practice when you have some time. I think they have some pretty good apps for that now too, where they actually do pronunciation, articulation. I'll have to check into the exact apps, but I've heard that they have some good ones now for that.
So. I know. So like it's kind of Elsa or something. I have that too. But that's the problem, that when I didn't speak English I haven't spoken English for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I moved to Vietnam, I just speak Vietnamese all the time with my friends and families.
Well, that, and then you have French as well. I haven't spoken. Use the past participle. I haven't spoken
exactly.
English. Right.
Yeah.
All right, Dewey. Well, enjoy the last couple of days there. Thank you for joining us, even during this very special time that you have there. You've given a few moments for us here, and I appreciate that. So I hope you have fun with your family. I hope you have a safe and happy rest of your trip.
My pleasure. Anytime. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for your time too, Adrian.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye, Dewey.
Bye.
All right, that was Dewey. That was great. Let's give him a thumbs up. There is a hardworking man for you. He's on a family vacation, and it's like, 11 o'clock or 11:30 in Vietnam, and he's decided to jump in for a quick chat. What a guy. Fantastic. All right, let's take somebody else. Let's take Fatma. Fatma's also a premium student. By the way, students, you can see those who are joining the premium classes, they've got the premium student badge, and that definitely earns a bit of advantage in here. So let's give Fatma a chance. Fatma, if you're there, let's speak. I think we've spoken before, but I'm not sure. Are you there, Fatma? If you are, let me know. Look at all those thumbs up for Dewey. Yeah, wow. It's some good English there. Dewey's a hardworking, very educated individual. Fatma, if you're hanging out, let me know. Give me a sign. First, just message me back and say, yeah, I'm ready. Make sure your microphone is hooked up. Make sure you have a good internet connection, right? You want to be using Wi-Fi, or better yet, a LAN connection if you have it. Check that you enabled your browser, that you said that the website can use your microphone. Okay. And your speaker. Okay. Fatma, I'll give you a couple more seconds. I know there's a 6-second delay between YouTube and the live class, so a couple more seconds to respond, and then we'll jump to somebody else here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Fatma. Well, if you come back or if you notice the chat, then let me know. All right. Jaheda is a returning student. Let's see if Jaheda is here. Hi. Are you ready? Hi, Mabel. Better late than never. Right? As the saying goes, you're here now. Jaheda, if you're there, give me a sign. Let me know that you are there. And we'll get into some questions. Meanwhile, of course, while you're waiting for your turn, so I can see that we've got, Thu and Juan and Huang and some others, Chani volunteering, Alexander. Practice these questions. Okay? Jaheda, if you're there, let me know. Not sure what's going on. All right. And don't be shy, students. So Naga, Vam Sri Krishna, just send me a message. I'm Master. You will see me listed as Master. Okay. Adele, send me a message. Okay, let's see if Phuong is here. Phuong, are you ready? Hopefully it's not on my end. If I can't see the responses, then it might be on my end. All right. Phuong says, yes, sir. Hi, Phuong.
Hi, sir.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic as well. Have you had a chance to see Dewey in Vietnam yet?
No, sir. I don't know her.
I'm kidding. Of course, it's because Phuong's also in Vietnam, but we have no idea where Dewey is, right? I didn't ask him which city he's in. So, all right, Phuong. So let's get into some questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Okay, then let's talk about moving homes. Have you ever moved a home?
Oh yes, I have. Up until last year, 2022, when I had to live far from my parents because I was studying university in the center of Ho Chi Minh City. Now I'm residing in a two-bedroom rented apartment with my friend Lily.
Can you recall a particularly memorable event from the first few days in your new home?
I have never forgotten a memorable day that I had to move to my new apartment with my friend Lily. The first few days, the weather outside was raining dogs and cats, but we had to decorate as we explored some grocery store a couple blocks from our home. A lot of homesick, but we had to go through and encourage each other.
Moving can often be a very stressful experience. What were some of the challenges you faced during the process?
Well, of course, relocating is not always a smooth and pleasant experience to me because I have to leave my old home and where my parents and my relationships. That turned me a lot of homesick, definitely. Moreover, I have to get accustomed to an unfamiliar environment and a new way of life.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. I'll give you some feedback. Not bad, Phuong, not bad at all. Okay, so one really good strategy that you're using, Phuong, and this is an important one, everybody. Make sure you copy Phuong on this. Is to think before you speak. So I can definitely tell, Phuong, that you really, think about the question. So you're not stressing about your English. You're not stressing about what the examiner looks like today, whether they're like scratching their head or pulling their hair. You're just really focusing on the question. You're thinking about the question. You take a few seconds to digest the question, like chew on the question and be like, okay. And that helps you come up with some good answers. So it was good. So you talked about moving to your new two-bedroom apartment for university with your friend Lily. It was very, very clear. You had some grammatical mistakes and some awkward use of language, but it wasn't confusing. So overall, you're at around the band 7 mark for sure, 7 to 7.5 even. You're using some nice complex grammar, like I've never forgotten the memorable day when I moved with my friend Lily. The weather was raining cats and dogs. The weather, just repeat after me, the weather was terrible. It was raining cats and dogs.
The weather was terrible, raining cats and dogs.
Yeah, just one more time. Slow it down a bit, Phuong. The weather was terrible. It was raining cats and dogs.
The weather was terrible. It was raining cats and dogs.
For the first few days, we were both very homesick.
The first very few days, we were very homesick.
For the first few days, we were very homesick.
For the first few days, we were very homesick.
Nice. Okay. And homesick, everybody, means that you long for home. So you miss home, to miss home. To be sad and miss home. Okay, so what you want to do, Fuang, when you're practicing is just exactly what we're doing right now. So slow it down, check the grammar, check the words, make sure it's correct and accurate, and then in a nice, slow, really enunciated way. Last week we talked about being melodramatic a little bit, right? So in a very enunciated way, just do some repetition. For the first few days, we were very homesick. I missed my parents and my siblings. Okay? One more time, Fuang. For the first few days, we were very homesick. I missed my parents and my siblings.
Okay, sir. For the first few days, we were very homesick, and I was really missing my parents
And siblings.
and siblings.
Do you have siblings, Fuang?
Yes, sir. I have one younger brother.
Right? So you have to mention him, otherwise he's going to get angry. He's like, what? You miss mom and dad, but not me? Come on, sis. All right. Although,
Okay,
right, sometimes it's good to escape your younger brother, I'm sure. So, all right, Fuang, so that was really good. Thank you for sharing. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Okay, bye, Fuang.
Bye-bye, sir.
All right, everybody. So nice, clear, accurate language. When you're up in those bands 6, 7 range and you know that, okay, I'm speaking fluently, I understand the questions, I know what's going on, but I need to make it sound more natural. I need to make it sound cleaner. Then you just have to do a lot of correction, feedback, repetition. You can do that, by the way, when you book an IELTS speaking interview practice. That's just up at the top there of the page with me as well. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think Fatma's like, oh, what happened? I'm here. Fatma, are you ready? Let's circle back. Okay. So everybody deserves a second chance, right, Fatma? Fatma, if you're there, let me know. And look at all those thumbs up for Fuang. That's fantastic. So Fatma, if you're there, let me know. Hopefully you're paying attention and you didn't go, oh, you didn't choose me, I'm gone. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage everybody to stay in the class as much as possible. So we're very interactive here, okay? Don't be like, oh, I'm done. Mic drop, boom, out. No, just hang in there, all right? Life is grand. Life is complex. Okay? All right. Shabir, the name of the website is aehelp.com. The name of the app is Academic IELTS Help. Fatma, did you run away again? All right. Well, I can't hang in there forever, Fatma. I'm really trying, but I can't do it. Let's give Arun a chance here. Arun. Another one of our premium students. On maps, Arun. Okay, I will take that into consideration. Arun, are you ready? If you're there, Arun, let me know. We can maybe do maps tomorrow, and I'm not sure if you're a channel member, but yeah, I could maybe do a maps task 1. Tomorrow's first live class will be task 1 writing. I'm currently sleeping, but I'm in a sleepy mood. Well, would you like to try to answer a couple of questions? Okay. That answers my question. Arun says, I will just watch your session. Okay, but you know what? I got your tip for the maps, so I will look for a map type question for tomorrow. And we haven't done a map type question in a while, so I think it's a great suggestion. Okay, Abiskar. I don't know if Abiskar and I have ever spoke. Abiskar, are you ready? I love the honest answer. I'm half asleep. I'm just watching. All right, you're sleep learning and suggesting. Task 1, maps, right? Okay. Abhiskar's ready.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Abhiskar.
Yeah, hi, Adrian. I'm delighted to meet you.
I'm happy to meet you as well. And this is the first time that we're talking to each other. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's first time.
Awesome. Well, good for you, Abhiskar. And I see that you're a premium student as well, which is awesome. Are you using the course?
Yeah,
Great.
I
Great.
have used since last month.
Good. Awesome. Yeah. If you have questions, just let us know, okay? So we always want to help as much as possible. You've got that little question button in your My Student account, so you can always ask us, okay?
Okay, sure. And I'm going to give my exam on June 10. So
Okay.
I'm excited and curious about it. Yeah.
Great. Well, you're here with me, which is fantastic. Abhiskar, may I ask, where are you from?
I'm from Nepal.
From Nepal. And why are you
Yeah.
taking the IELTS exam?
I have completed my master degree in physics and now I'm pursuing a PhD in physics. So I like to do IELTS examination. That is the basic requirement for international enrollment.
So you are one smart cookie, as we would say. Right? Do you know this expression, smart cookie?
No, I don't
It means
know.
you're a very smart person because many people say that physics is arguably the most challenging subject in university. So to do a master's and then to do a PhD in physics, you have to be one smart cookie. Smart cookie, I'll write that word up here, smart cookie.
Wow.
It means a very smart person. Where do you plan to do your PhD?
Sorry?
Where do you plan to do your PhD? Which country?
Especially for the USA because my our entire family are there.
Okay.
And so I feel like to go there.
Good. Yeah. MIT?
I'm not sure, but I'm pursuing for the Miami University, and they have emailed me. And
Okay.
if I fulfill the basic requirement of English proficiency test, then I will apply for upcoming spring.
That's great. That's a good university for sure.
Yeah,
All right. Well, let me ask you a few questions, and then I'll give you some feedback. Are you ready?
yeah, of course.
Okay. Have you ever had to move to a new home?
Yeah, I have moved to new home last year. I Before that, I reside in the countryside, and my father brought one new home, and I have moved, and I'm here on the new home right now.
Have you ever moved to a completely different city or country?
Not exactly. I didn't get chance to move to another city, but I had moved to the our capital city, Kathmandu, fewer times. So I like to say yes, I have moved.
How was the experience?
Oh, that was interesting. I visited several temple and the university, so that was the memorable moment for me.
Do you see yourself moving again in the future?
Of course, yes. I love the Kathmandu, and there have many holy places and spiritual places. So I like to move again after completion my IELTS exam.
Where would you like to go and why?
Especially, sorry, I can't catch the question clearly, Arjun.
Where would you like to go and why?
So I like to go on the Kathmandu, especially, which is my capital city. And secondly, in the future, I like to move on USA to pursue my PhD. PhD, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's stop there. All right, you've got some great English. That's the good news. So I think you definitely should be able to get around a band 7, maybe even 7.5. And I think with some practice, you can definitely get into the 7.5, maybe even the band 8 range, okay? The most important for you is to focus on what you're saying. So to make it clear, okay? Maybe it's because you were nervous. Maybe it's because it's the first time. But your answers are a little bit confusing. And I feel like you understand the question, and you definitely have some good grammar, good vocabulary. You're using present perfect for present perfect, and you're fluent. But, you know, so let me jump back and I'll explain what I mean, okay? So let's see. I asked you if you've ever had to move, and you said, yes, I have. And that part was good. You said, my father bought a new house and I moved. Let me just find where it is. Okay. Where was that? Yes, there it is. So you said, yeah, I have moved to a new home last year. And that was fine. And you know how technically in grammar, when we name a specific point, we sometimes don't use the present perfect, but in spoken English, that's an exception. And in spoken English, we sometimes do use the present perfect. Yeah, I have. Last week, I've had to do that. So we do in spoken English use the present perfect in more specific times. So that's okay. Then you said before that, I reside. Just watch your past, okay? I resided. So before that, I resided in the countryside and my father bought a new apartment or a new home and I moved there. And that was clear, okay? So from this answer, I understood that you lived in the countryside, your father bought a new house, it sounds like in the city, in Kathmandu, and then you moved to that new house, which was fine. And then in the next question, I asked if you have ever moved to a completely different city or country. And you said, not exactly. I didn't get a chance to move to a city. And then you changed your answer and you said, but I moved and I'd like to say I have moved. And that was confusing. I was like, okay, well, did you move or didn't you move? Why did that happen? Can you explain why that happened? Why you first said, no, I haven't. And then you changed it to, yeah, I have. So what was going on there?
Yeah, I was confused at the time.
Okay, which is fine. That definitely can happen in the IELTS exam, especially if we're nervous. And if that happens, this is a very important tip for everybody, okay? So if you suddenly realize that your answer is getting confusing because you're stressed and you're not exactly sure on what you're saying or how you're saying it, clarify yourself, okay? So what you want to do, okay? So here's an important tip. If you feel that you are giving, and that happens when we talk, it happens in everyday language, you are giving a confusing answer, stop and clarify yourself. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. So if you say, not exactly, I didn't get a chance to move to a new city, but I moved and I'm getting confusing, so sorry, let me restart that. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not making much sense. Let me answer that again. Yes, I have moved to a new city. As I mentioned, I lived in a town before. Now I live in Kathmandu, but I have never moved to a new country. I have lived in Nepal all my life. Do you see? So I literally tell the listener, like, okay, I know I'm confusing at this moment. Just give me a chance to give you the answer again clearly. And it's absolutely okay to do that in the IELTS. Don't do it for every question. That would become very strange. But when this happens, then you can't. Do you want to try that? So just repeat after me. Give me a moment. My answer is very confusing. Let me start that again. Just repeat me.
Okay.
Give me a moment. I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit nervous. Let me start that again. Just repeat that part. I just want you to remember that for your exam if you get into this situation.
Okay. I didn't have a chance to move on the new city, but in the future I like to move that type of sense of the sense I like to express, but I didn't articulate it clearly.
Yeah, exactly. So let me start that. Just repeat after me. Let me start that answer again.
Okay.
Just repeat that. So I want you to actually repeat what I'm saying. So let me start that answer again. Let me clarify myself.
Okay.
Like I literally want you to repeat that, what I'm saying. So repeat this. Let me start that again. Let me clarify myself. Okay. I have moved cities. As I said, I lived in the countryside, but now I live in Kathmandu. I have never moved countries. I have lived in Nepal all my life. Okay? From start to finish. I'm going to say it one more time, and then once I finish, copy me. So let me start that again. Let me clarify myself. I have moved cities. As I said, I lived in the countryside, but now I live in Kathmandu. I have never moved countries. I have lived in Nepal all my life.
I have, can I speak?
Yep, and start from let me start that again.
Let me start that again. Let me clarify myself. I have moved cities. As I said, I lived in the countryside, but now I live in Kathmandu. I have never moved countries. I have lived in Nepal all my life.
Okay. And sometimes the questions are slightly confusing. Like, are you asking me about moving cities or countries? What do you want me to answer, right? So, so clarify yourself. So if you get stuck, if you feel like, oh, I'm not making sense, don't rush. It's a conversation. It's really important, especially for those high band scores like band 758, 859, that you feel like you're just in a good, clear conversation. And with your English, you can achieve that. So focus on that, okay?
Okay.
All right. And make sure to come back and practice with me lots before your June 10 exam. You've got about 3 weeks, a little bit less maybe. Okay. So lots of practice with me until then. Okay, Abeskar?
Can I deserve 6.5 by this
Oh,
speaking?
yeah. You'll get at least 6.5 for what you said. But I think that you can do better. I think that you can get 7.5. And for a PhD, you should go as high as possible. Okay.
Last time in the November, I attempt my IELTS examination, and at that time I stopped on listening. At that time, I got only 5.5 on listening. All other model are like 6.5 and 6. So
Interesting.
I'm struggling on all models.
Okay, lots of practice exams. Ask me questions, so use the course. From speaking with you, I think 5.5 on any section for you is a little bit low. So we have to, check what's going on, why that's happening, because with what I'm experiencing, you should be definitely closer to the 6.57 range in all of your sections. So make sure to, use the course and ask lots of questions, okay?
Okay, Ajay.
All right. Abiskar, have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to hearing from you. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much,
Okay.
Ajay.
Bye, Abiskar.
Bye.
All right. That was Abiskar. Let's give Abiskar a thumbs up. Yeah, students, it's really important that you identify why you're getting certain scores. I mean, as I said, Biscar's English, he should not be getting 5.5 on any section. Just from my short conversation with him, I know that he's definitely in the 6.5 to 7 range. So you have to check why that's happening. Okay. All right. Let's take someone else. Let's take Ria. Ria, are you ready? I don't think we've ever heard from Ria. We've got Adele volunteering as well. Students, we've got lots of volunteers now. That's great. So make sure to keep doing that. Okay, Ria says yes. Hi, Ria.
Hi, hi, Adu.
How are you?
I am good.
Ria, this is the
How
first
about
time.
you?
I'm doing great, thank you. And this is the first time that we're talking, right?
Yes, yes.
Good. Ria, where are you?
I am from basically India and I am at my hometown right now. with my
Okay.
parents.
Sorry, what part of India is it?
It's in UP basically. It's in East.
It's in the east. It's in UP. Okay, I'm not familiar with that region. I haven't heard it before, but fantastic. Is it coastal? Are you close to the ocean?
No, it's not close to the ocean.
So it's inland.
It's nearby Delhi.
Oh, it's
So
near
it's
Delhi. Okay, so it's
yeah.
so it's definitely inland. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I want to study my MS degree from abroad, so that is the reason I. That is the first step to go for IELTS.
Okay.
This is the reason.
So you mean a Master of Science
Yes, Masters in Computer Science.
in Computer Science, MSc? Okay, got you.
Right.
All right. Well, and what country would you like to go to? Do you know?
I'm planning for USA and Australia.
USA and Australia. Okay. I'm in Canada. If anybody ever wants to, we're here. Also, keep us in mind.
Definitely.
I know it's colder, but we're happy people
Yeah.
here. We're happy people.
Yeah, as I am pursuing my bachelor degree from computer science, so my main preference to go for master's in computer science for USA only because it's good there. There are so many universities, like a very good universities.
That's true. As I was mentioning before, MIT is a great one for sciences.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let me ask a couple of questions. Are you ready?
Uh, just give me a minute. Like,
Sure.
yeah, sure, I'm ready.
Okay. Have you ever moved to a new home?
Yes, earlier I have moved to a new home. Before a year ago, I lived with my grandparents, and currently, after a year, shifted to nearby Delhi with my parents and my elder brother. It is a 2 BHK apartment where I have room with a washroom attached, and it is a good place.
Do you see
Hello.
yourself moving again in the near future?
Sorry, you're not audible.
Do you see yourself moving again in the near future?
No, I don't want to go to some other places as I am loving the current place I am. And the most special part of this place is that I am nearby with my parents who take care of me in all the conditions.
If you had to move, where would you move?
As I told you previously that I want to go to USA, so that is my first and last preference to shift.
That is the end of part one. We will now continue with part two. Okay, let me give you a bit of feedback. So first of all, your score. Your score would be definitely like a 6.5. You're fluent, and your speech is between fluent and good. It's clear. I understand you. Your coherence is a little bit low because you're not giving me too many explanations. You're giving me a little bit of explanation, but it's kind of vague. Like you're minimizing your information. You need to give me a little bit more, not much more, just a little bit more. Show me a little bit more content and a little bit more fluency and grammatical range. Okay. Also, some of your language use is a little bit off. Some of your grammar is a little bit off, and you want to pay attention to those and slowly improve those over time. However, I like how you're speaking very naturally with me. So when you didn't hear me, you said, "Sorry, you're not audible." Sure, okay, I got it. You can't hear me. Okay. I asked if you had moved. You said yes. Earlier, I moved to a new home. Before, a year ago, I lived with my grandparents. And then a year ago, I moved near Delhi with my parents and brother. That was good. Okay, that was clear. Then I asked you, do you see yourself moving again in the near future? And you said, no, I don't want to go to other places as I am loving the current place that I am in, I think. I understand you, but the English is a bit awkward. There's more natural ways to express that. So use the question. Okay, I've said this a lot of times in past classes to those of you who are joining these classes regularly. The question has the near future. Okay, so one way to use that is to just say in the near future. When the question ends with a time expression, like in the near future, often what you do in conversation is you start the answer with the same time expression. So in the near future. Okay?
Okay, got
So
it.
in the near future. And then you can define it. So to get even more points, more vocabulary, and to sound even more natural, to have better communication, you can define it. So for you, what is the near future, Ria? When somebody says near future, what do you think about?
I guess it's about the location.
No. Near future. Define for me near future. Near future means like the close future. Close is not location here. Near is not actually a physical location. It's time.
Okay, so it's basically you are talking about the future, like about my future, like what do I have to plan?
Yeah,
Is
and
that
it's the close future. So if you're looking at the chat, Elizabeth is trying to give you a hand here
okay?
as well,
Okay,
Sunflower. So in near future in English, this collocation, near future, it means like 2 weeks, 2 months, next 2 weeks, next 2 months, okay? Next 2 months,
got
or maybe the
I'm so
next
sorry.
year.
I thought that you're talking about the place.
Yeah, no, it's not. And that now I understand a little bit better of why you didn't clearly answer that question, right? So
Yes.
in the near future, like in the next month or two, I am not planning to move because I really enjoy my current home with my parents and brother. However, in a year's time, I am planning to go to the US to pursue my master's, as I had mentioned. Okay, so near future means close future in English. It means like sometime within the next month to 2 months, or depends on the context. For some people, near future might be within the next year, right? Okay, I'm going to repeat this. Copy me. Okay, so in the near future, like in the next month or two, I'm not planning to move because I really enjoy my current home with my parents and brother. However, in about a year's time, I am planning to go to the US to pursue my master's, as I had mentioned previously. So do you see yourself moving again in the near future?
In the near future, like in the next month or two, I'm not planning to move because I really enjoy my current home with my parents and my brother. However, in a year time, I'm planning to go to the US to pursue my master's, as I had mentioned previously.
Nice. Okay. So that's the high band 8-9 answer to that question. Okay, that's the formulation. Now, the important tip there, everybody, is use the questions. So it doesn't matter if you're a band 5 and it doesn't matter if you're a band 9. A really good tip is use the question in your answer. Okay, especially when you see that time expression like in the near future. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Okay, Ria, thank you so much for volunteering. Keep practicing. Okay, and
I have a question.
yeah,
For
go
you.
for it.
Can you please give me a idea about how much I will score, like
Yeah.
as for communicating with you?
Yeah. So what I mentioned when I started responding, your answers would be about a band 6 to 6.5. Okay, it's closer to 6.5, I think, than a 6, but in around that range. Okay, 6.65. All right. Now, just remember, everybody, that when I'm giving you these scores, this is just for part 1 and just for what I'm hearing. I would have to hear your part 2 and your part 3 to give you a really accurate answer. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Okay, Ria, have an awesome rest of your day and come back and volunteer again, okay?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very
It
welcome.
was nice speaking to you.
Nice meeting you. Bye, Ria.
Bye bye.
All right, Ria, thumbs up. That was great. Yeah, to get like a really accurate assessment of your speaking, use the speaking interview practice button that's just right up there and book a full session with me. It's worth it. Okay. And do it early, not like 2 days before your exam. You want to book, a couple months before if you can, so that you can identify your mistakes. Students, this chat interface is for all of you. So I see a lot of volunteers, and of course, as you know, it's impossible for me to get to everybody in one session, but you can talk to each other. So speak with each other, send each other messages and say, hi, I need to practice. See, there's lots of you with great English, right? I will be back tomorrow with task 1 writing for everybody, task 1 writing for members tomorrow, a little bit earlier, and then we'll have a subscribers chat class, which will be reading, and we take volunteers for the reading classes also. So if you enjoyed this class, you feel like, hey, I'm going to join these classes as much as possible, definitely use the premium version of our course, both the app and the website. Click that red button. For academic IELTS, it's aehelp.com. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Okay. Thank you, moderators. Carolina, from start to finish, she was here helping us out. Let's give her an applause, a thumbs up. Thank you so much to Chen and Alexi also for being here. And thank you to all the volunteers. Remember to use the code BLAZER9 on the website when you're checking out for that 10% discount. Remember to visit aehelp.com after the class. Visit gieltshelp.com. And follow the tips and strategies. This video is recorded. You can watch it again. You can listen to it again. And if you have questions, send us an email. We're here to help you. Our goal is to help as many of you succeed in IELTS, thereby succeeding in school and in work and in immigration and life. It's very important for us. It's beautiful work that we do here. So have a lovely rest of your day. Chin up. Moving forward, I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.